Hey guys, how are you? Sean Henderson Pierre, the Beverage Ramble and Chats. Again today, I just want to come in and real quickly, briefly, touch on a couple of things. First and foremost, start off with the tournament, Chat 1. The games have been okay. They haven't really been that exciting, but they've been okay. Got a free coffee. One of the local Dunkin' Donuts around here, they just opened up their new store, and free coffee and some donuts. So, yeah. So sipping on that. Real quick, the tournament's been all right. I mean, again, the games have been okay. Not that jaw-dropping exciting. I think the 5-12 matchups and the 8-9 matches have kind of lived up to what we expected to be. They were very competitive, but nothing really that really stood out. But for those first 2 days, but today and tomorrow definitely going to be days where the games are really going to get really good, really interesting. A lot of good matchups. The one matchup that I'm really looking forward to watching, well, actually two of them. Well, actually three. Watching UCLA, Tennessee. That'll be later tonight. To see how the Bruins now in the Big Ten. Yes, hard to say UCLA in the Big Ten. And Tennessee, which is that many experts, and those people who show me some of their brackets have Tennessee going all the way probably into San Antonio playing for the national championship. But that BYU and Wisconsin, that's going to be a lot of high-scoring game, running up and down the floor. And I think I wish this game would be later in the evening, but the main event will be Arkansas versus St. John's. Of course, the match of the two legendary coaches, John Calipari, Rick Pitino, kind of intertwined with each other in a lot of ways. Of course, Pitino went to UMass. Calipari coached at UMass. Pitino went to Kentucky, won a national championship after leaving the New York Knicks. Went there and ended up winning a national championship there in '96, and then went to Boston, went to the NBA. Calipari went to UMass, went to the Nets, then came back to college, coach at Memphis, and then went to the Final Four, and then lost in that epic game against Kansas. Then, of course, he went to Kentucky, there, and then he ended up winning a national championship in 2012. Pitino, the year later, he left the Celtics. Boston Celtics, went to the Louisville Cardinals, the University of Louisville, and ended up winning a national championship there a year later in 2013. So these two coaches, very intertwined, great coaches, so it's going to be interesting. Of course, they're going to put all the focus on the coaches, but really the focus should be on the game. And Arkansas kind of limped their way into the tournament in a lot of respects. But yeah, the attention will be on the coaches. So that's the game I'll be looking forward to. It starts at later. Hopefully, I'm not doing anything with my girlfriend. Maybe get a chance to sit and watch it, but either way. But my second topic. So you got that game, and then you got UConn and Florida tomorrow afternoon. Then you got Kentucky playing Illinois. That's going to be a good one. That will be the late game that will go into 60 minutes. Always that late game, that always gets a great rating. And I think the rating is going to be a little higher. I think this term the ratings-wise is going to be really good compared to last year. Again, folks are taking in out-of-home viewing into consideration, which is something that Billy Packer had always talked about, that out-of-home viewing. You got to get those people watching at the bars or at the schools or whatever. You got to factor them in. So, the late Billy Packer, may he rest in peace, former CBS basketball analyst and NBC, and some Raycom, Jefferson Pilot stuff, but no longer with us. So, yeah. And also the women's tournament also is ongoing as well. So, a lot of good day to sit and watch some basketball today. So I know people are going to be out enjoying the weather. It's the first full official weekend of spring out there. So, go out, enjoy. But I will try to sneak my way in to watch some games. Chat number 2. Bob Costas was on this podcast with... No, I'll get to the Bob Costas thing. Next thing, T.J. Reeves, and about the tournament. T.J. Reeves was talking with, on The Last Word on Sports Media Podcast, and he was talking with Tim Brando, former sportscaster, still does get stuff, still a sportscaster with Fox, but worked at ESPN, worked at CBS, Jefferson Pilot, really good. And he was involved with the tournament with CBS. And he was talking about the tournament, how the state of the game is still good, but, how their factors are coming in, wanting to expand the tournament, and the way the coverage is now and, NIL and, the transfer portal and whatnot, how he understands it, but, it needs to be regulated, which is true. Because it's getting way out there, especially with the collegiate. And I think he also made a point in which some people have made that point, that maybe that football and basketball should be separate from some of the other sports in some of these schools because of the NIL and the transfer portal. But those sports, football and basketball, bring in the dollars to these universities. So, but it was a very good discussion. They went back and forth on, and also he talked about the money that CBS is about the tournament, that Turner TNT Sports is actually paying a good portion of the tournament. Now, I thought when the two entities got together in 2011 and 10 when they signed their deal that the partnership was equal, but then a couple of years later I found out it was like 60-40% was the deal. But according to Brando, it's a lot more. It was like 80-20. So I think Turner Sports, TNT Sports is actually carrying the bulk load of the tournament for CBS, because CBS was going to walk away from this tournament in 2010. There was an out clause, and they were looking either to renegotiate or maybe find a partner in this, or they were going to walk away with it just altogether. Say, hey, look, we're done. We're seeing, if ESPN wants to get involved, fine. We'll be okay with something else. But the partnership was reimagined, and of course, Turner is, according to Brando, is paying a good portion of the tournament. So 80% of it is like, wow, so. But the production quality of everything with the CBS crew and the NBA guys from TNT Sports working together. Some people don't like it, but I think it's okay, seeing these two entities working together, no big deal. So, yeah, so that was kind of interesting listening to that. So I'll send a link to that podcast, also the link to my next topic. Bob Costas. He was talking with Dr. John Lewis, founder, editor of Sports Media Watch, and Armand Brody, who wrote a column about Bob and about his performance during the ALCS during the American League Divisional Series coverage that was on TNT Sports, which, they had it. This year, they have the National League, and Fox Sports 1 will have the American League. But he was talking about his performance in those games and how he was kind of a bit lackluster. And Bob kind of said, "Look, he was right. I was not on my A game, with the coverage." And of course, he talked about his career. He talked about his legacy and getting his start and everything. NBC, the high points of NBC and the low points, and the relationship that when they got there, and then kind of how things kind of fractured in the end, and now seem to be gearing back to being on friendly terms again. And talked about the state of media now, how social media is not doing a good job and really kind of dissecting and, just posting anything that's out there, not really, questioning some of these stories, not questioning some of these reports, and how people have attacked him and people have twisted his words, especially with some of his essays and his commentary. And, it was a very good discussion. I'm not going to give it all away. So I'm going to also send that link to that podcast with that he had with John Lewis and Armand Brody. It was really good, very entertaining, and I loved it. And now my last chat is also about social media. The whole Jess Solarius situation and Lauren LaRosa and the Breakfast Club. Jess should have known better about this. And look, I like Jess. I think she's very, very good, very talented, very funny, as is Lauren. She's very well-read, very informed. But you can't let the social media nerds and out there and these fake websites and blogs get into you. And I think she fell into that trap, unfortunately, of listening to what the social media folks were saying about her. About her job and everything else. I think Envy and DJ Envy and Charlamagne tried to kind of let her know, hey, look, don't listen to all that stuff. It's just, Don't buy into that. You know, that's what it is, you know, and that's what social media is all about. Some people who are not on social media, like Charles Barkley, he like doesn't give a rip what people say about him on social media. And you have others who kind of live and breathe by that. And I guess following Jess, knowing her personality, her career, I thought she wouldn't be involved in it, wouldn't be taking any of that stuff too seriously. But be it as it may, you know, I think cooler heads have prevailed now. I think has kissed and made up, and you know, hopefully, you know, there will be no tension between all parties involved. You know, all four of them. I think, you know, again, she's a comedian. She's on the road, and when Lauren fills in, you know, she does a really good job, especially on the politics and news stuff, where she's really good at. And Jess has said, you know, look, I don't do politics, I don't do current events, all that nonsense. That's just not my thing. I don't care about it. And, you know, so that's why Lauren is there, you know. And so hopefully they'll make up, but, you know, time will tell. All right, so that's about it. I'm going to enjoy my coffee, enjoy my donut. I got to get me a smoke, all that good stuff. So anyone, you guys, peace out, enjoy. Much love. Bye.